morning. Morning. I want to welcome you to this morning's committee hearing. Madam Clerk, I do believe that we have a quorum, so we can get started. I think I want to begin with public comment. In fact, I'm going to do something a little different here. Where's Mr. Previn? Is Mr. Previn here? Yeah, so what I want to do, I'm going to call up Mr. Previn, and I'm going to give him, he'll just have a straight 3 minutes to talk plus his general public comment. So, Mr. Previn, you may want to come up. 3 minutes to talk on your items, general public comment. You'll get a minute on that, an additional minute.
Okay.
So go ahead, sir, the floor.
So today there's a relaxed feeling. Okay, I appreciate that, sir. It is Eric Previn, a resident from CD2. And today there are just a few items that I signed up on this Rules Committee agenda for today. The first item, I would like to join everybody in welcoming the proposed new ethics commissioner, who is being proposed by you, sir. And this is a DA, which is impressive. She's a very well-respected leader and is going to be joining the 4 existing commissioners, which is Nathan Hochman, Serena Oberstein, Ms. DeHaan, and Jessica Levinson. So this is exciting. We have 4 women and Mr. Hochman, who is slated to leave in approximately a year if he's not reappointed. So it was an interesting choice. She's got a history in politics, I think, her family, and that's exciting. And, I'm sure she'll do an adequate job or a very good job. This is a person whose expertise, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of zeitgeisty. She's been working on drug-assisted rape cases, which, as you know, has been in the news with Mr. Cosby and so on and so forth, which is worrisome. But, of course, that's an issue which, like some of the ethics issues, are longstanding problems that people have been looking away from for a long time, so it may in fact be a very skilled kind of an appointment. But I'm hoping that Ms. Murray, like the new blood on the Ethics Commission, is prepared to take a close look at some of the issues that have been raised. And it's good to see that Mr. Weezer is here this morning. Hi, sir. Nice to see you. So the other items that were of interest to me and the public, I think, was item number 3 is an item that has to do with, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Englander has taken a leading role in trying to bring an ordinance into the city along with some state rules to make it so that drones are a criminal offense. Now, I do agree, everybody I think agrees, we don't want drones flying into airspace or doing things that are potentially dangerous, but we also don't want to generate a kind of revenue machine here, in my view. I think that there are FAA regulations that are quite strong. They may not address some of these issues, but believe me, the law enforcement have no problem detaining or pulling someone away from doing something very dangerous, and will do so forthwith. The question really becomes, do we want to be writing tickets to people left, right, and center? And my answer, after quick analysis, is no. And as you know, sir, the governor himself vetoed several anti-drone legislation. I see this as a potential revenue source. I don't agree that we should be doing this kind of work. And I think the other one is item number 4. This is where, again, Englander, Ms. Martinez, and a few, I think Mr. O'Farrell has popped in to be helpful, have put together an idea where the towing lobby here is very powerful, sir. I think you know Eric Rose and all those guys who swarm around the public safety guys. This group wants to make prostitution and crimes that are solicitation and things of pimping and all that, which is some serious crimes that have some serious laws. They want to add to the mix the idea that the vehicle could be towed right away. Now, this is a problem, I think. I think, again, this is in the service of the towing lobby more than the public, because the public want due process, and even though we are all against certainly sex trafficking of youth and certainly prostitution, there are lots of things that law enforcement can do to dissuade people from participating in this kind of activity that does not involve putting liens on their property, which is a city hallmark, to try to grab the car, and then we'll figure out if they're guilty or not later. We do have civil asset forfeiture rules and laws that are applicable if necessary. So I would just say this is a terrible idea, and you should look very closely at who's influencing this legislation. It's not hard to see. And sir, I don't know. You want me to go? You want me to stop now and come back for public comment? Or
no, you already did.
Okay, so those are the 3 items. Now I'm going to
do
do
my
public
You had 4
comment.
minutes.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir.
So you have 7 seconds left.
Well, I would like to do a general public comment when you do
No,
that.
you have 4 seconds to do what you want. 4 minutes to do what you wanted to do, and his minutes are up. Am I correct? Was he given 4 minutes? Correct. Yes. So I will say this to you, because where it relates to the drone issue, I have Mr. Engler and I have worked on that. It is for purely public safety reasons. No one ever viewed this as an additional revenue source. Okay, so with that said, why don't we go through items? In fact, you know what? Just to make sure, I'm going to have, I think I want to get rid of all of the public comment. Yes. Can I do that? And then we can go directly into all of the items. All right, so I want to ask, is it George Watland? Would you come forward, sir? And I think you want to speak on item 5. And it's a Maria. I can't quite make out the last name, but you're on item 6. General, Jeff, you're after that. And then I'll call up the other members. So, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate this opportunity. I'm George Watland. I'm the chapter director of the local Sierra Club chapter, the Angeles chapter. I'm here to comment about item 5 and the opposition to H.R. 2898. This is a bill that would dramatically weaken protections for salmon, migratory birds, and other fish and wildlife in California's important Bay Delta estuary, as well as the thousands of jobs in California and Oregon that depend on the health of these species. The committee is asked to resist the simplistic approaches offered by some to pit one part of California against another and to adopt measures that cause harm to our already stressed environment in hopes of gaining short-term water supplies for just certain industries. While the Sierra Club remains opposed to the California water fix mentioned in the resolution, referenced in its 4th paragraph, it, however, supports fully the central objective of this resolution to oppose H.R. 2898. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, General, you can come up. You guys don't have to come in order. Again, do I have Maria? I can't quite make out the, please come up. Don't be shy. And then I want Clint Simmons. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. So thank you, committee members, for the opportunity to provide testimony. My name is Maria, last name is Joer, and I represent Hollywood Food Guild. We are a project of Center for Food Safety, which is a national public advocacy organization protecting our food, our farms, and the environment. We strongly support this resolution to oppose H.R. 1599. So over the past 3 years, over 30 states have introduced bills or initiatives to require the labeling of genetically engineered, aka GE foods. And 3 states, Connecticut, Maine, and Vermont, have passed GE labeling laws. Despite the massive push for GE labeling by states across the country, the so-called Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act would prohibit any current or future state law requiring the labeling of GE foods, while at the same time undercut the ability of states or local governments to regulate GE crops. We urge you to support this resolution because all Americans deserve to know what's in their food. The labeling is supported by a whopping 93% of Americans. Nearly 1.4 million Americans have joined the petition for labeling.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, General. Hey, man, good to see you.
Hey, how's it going, sir? Good morning, committee. My name is General Jeff. I am the chair of the Skid Row Neighborhood Council Formation Committee, and we're very excited about item 7, which is the subdivision, which will officially allow, once approved, it will officially allow Skid Row the opportunity to form our own neighborhood council and help address our own community's needs, which also can expand citywide. And so we're very excited about working with the Homelessness and Poverty Committee with the City Council. There's numerous opportunities. It's time for new and innovative solutions instead of the old and outdated solutions that obviously have not worked with homelessness exploding citywide. So, we're very excited about this. We're in full support, and we will be walking this down every step of the way. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Simmons.
I think there are two items that I have.
You can speak on them.
Okay, fine. First, I would like to speak about the drones. As one who have a commercial pilot's license, and drones have become a problem. The FAA do not have a regulation at the present time that can control the violation of the airspace. The AOPA is presently working, and hopefully that they can encourage the FAA to put forth some type of rules. It would be left up to the municipalities as well as the state and cities to make a punishment for anyone who violates the airspace by flying these drones. California leads the nation in terms of violation, where drones are getting too close to commercial airlines. They are presently being reported each day by pilots where drones are within their airspace. I think we all remember the fire up in the Cahoon Pass, where it was a 22-minute delay before we get the air resources there because of drones flying. And it's up to the city to put forth some type of ruling. If anyone is caught flying a drone illegally, they will be fined heavily. That is the only way to stop that. The next item is item 7. This is the subdivision of neighborhood councils. I am opposed to it because subdivision would only continue the demise of neighborhood councils citywide. The LA Council has already put in place procedures that have reduced the visibility of neighborhood councils within its stakeholders, such as having meetings only a few minutes before the regular council meeting, where it's difficult for people to get here at 9 o'clock with the traffic we have in the city of Los Angeles, and specifically if you're coming from a far distance. Many times you change the bylaws just before the election in order to fit the city council's objectives, not that of the city council, not that of the neighborhood councils themselves. So I am one, as well as the West Adam Neighborhood Council, are opposed to these early morning meetings. As you can see, the number of participants here are very, very small.
Okay, Mr. Simmons, when we have a meeting that focuses on neighborhood councils, we will try to do those meetings in the afternoon or early evening.
Well,
so that's the accommodation where it relates to that.
Well, subdivision has to do with neighborhood.
I understand that. I said in the future that's what I want to do.
Okay.
I'm going to try to do my best to, because that's the focus of this committee, to make sure that neighborhood councils feel more.
I'd like to ask one other question.
No. I can't let you go back and forth, but I wanted to answer your question. Okay, now if I could get Fernando. Casares?
Yep.
Lorna, is it Paisley? Go ahead, sir.
Hi, yes. My name is Fernando Casares with the Natural Resources Defense Council. NRDC urges the committee to support the proposed resolution opposing H.R. 2898, legislation in the House of Representatives to override state and federal environmental laws. The majority of voters in LA and across the state oppose efforts to weaken environmental protections for fish and wildlife during the drought, as this H.R. 2898 would do. LA has led efforts to conserve water, and we have shown that we can protect the environment and the economy. California needs resolutions to drought that build on the work that LA has already done, rather than roll back environmental laws. Voting for the resolution is consistent with your efforts. We urge you to support the resolution and express the city's opposition to this radical anti-environmental legislation in Congress. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if I could have Ms. Paisley followed by Rufio Sabellas, last name Annette Aguilar, and looks like Visha Vida. Please come forward. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
Yes?
I'm here to support the resolution, item number 6, which is in opposition to H.R. 1599 because it takes away our rights as humans and it takes away state rights. And I just see our rights being lost day after day in some regard or another, and I think we the people need to step up and stop having our rights taken away. And I want to know what's in my food because my health is at stake, and I take good care of my health. I'm a senior citizen, and I came here today in public transportation, walked up the steps, thanks to healthy food. So let's keep our food healthy, and let us know what's in our food.
Thank you for coming down. So now, Refugio Sabalas, Annette Aguilar, please come forward. Welcome.
Welcome. I'm here to support H.R. 1599, also taking into consideration that our children are being placed on a test, on a grand experiment, and we haven't truly considered the factors involved. It's our children, your grandchildren, who are going to end up being the ones that will be the result of this experiment that has not been fully taken into consideration, and taking the fact that we all know the effects of the pesticides and the fact that the pesticides, while being put in the GMO products or the resistance created, the pests end up becoming resistant, and the pesticide has to be used in a greater amount, therefore affecting us even more. That is item number 6. I ask that the councilman support that resolution.
Thank you. Next, please identify yourself.
Yes, my name is Annette Aguilar, and I took 4 hours out of my day, have to get back to work at 12, and I'm going to make up for that time on Saturday. I'm here to ask you for item number 6 to vote in favor because I can't find anyone that is a mother that is in favor of H.R. 1599. In this country, I have not found someone that is against labeling. So I'm asking you to please vote in favor of this resolution and send a strong voice out to Congress. This is what we have left. We have our council members and we have ourselves to come here because Congress is being lobbied so hard by the junk food and by the biotech and by the chemical companies. So please do the right thing. Let's get out this resolution that LA council members are against taking our right to label GMOs. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good morning. My name is Nisha Vida. I'm a third-year graduate student at UCLA pursuing a law degree and master's in public policy. I'm also one of the folks who brought GMO-free LA to LA City Council last year. I'm also here in favor of item number 6. Regardless of safety issues, to me, I see this also as an issue of constitutional rights. This is the federal government attempting to preempt states from listening to the voice of their citizens. And if there's anything great about local government, it's that you're closest to the people, and 97% of Americans support GMO labeling. So I strongly ask for LA City Council to support this resolution because that's what the people want, and you're closest to the people. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Is Antonio Ramirez here? Please come up. You'll get a minute for public comment, and you can speak on your item 3 as well. So come forward. Item, you can do public, your public comment, general public, and you can do item 3.
Thank you. Number 3, I'm all for drones. I'm all for aircrafts. And I hope that people are getting into a frenzy and they're getting upset because the drones are flying over their homes. I think that the city needs to send out plenty of drones and watch over all the crimes that are occurring every single day and night. Again, LAPD and the Sheriff's Department can't be held responsibly every single day for all the crimes that happen underground. Therefore, I am cognizant of that, and God bless the LAPD and God bless the Sheriff's Department. But we must pass and put drones all over the city, because we are right now under siege by these goddamn gangbangers and wetbacks. And they are committing crimes that we can't address in 1 minute. No way can we address them in 1 minute. That's why most of us live on the streets, as I do. Not because I'm an idiot, not because I'm a gangbanger or wetback, or because I'm a junkie or a mental, but because I stand on principle. I do not bow down and lick anybody's ass. So having said that, I definitely agree. Pass and get those drones out there, monitor them and surveillance them. Make sure you watch the surveillance every single day, and cure the problems. Let's get rid of the problems. Let's address the problems. The problem is that the city council members here don't address the problems. They bring the problems, but they don't find solutions. They'll kick you out, but they will not address the problem. Take it head on and say, this is enough. Stop these problems and get rid of it. And attack the right person, not the offender. Don't attack the victim, attack the offenders. And these offenders are wetbacks and gangbangers. They have a criminal empire that is way too big that you or I could even put a nail on it. That's why the drones are imperative. Put those drones up there and make sure we start curing the problems. And God bless Donald Trump. Maybe he will do something.
Thank you. Joseph Reiser, Mark from the Los Feliz Neighborhood Council, and I think I have a Patty Berman. Please come forward.
Thank you, Joseph Reiser from the Herman neighborhood of Los Angeles in Council District 14. I'm here to encourage my council member. I'm here to encourage my council member and the rest of the members of this committee to support item 7, which is called the Subdivision Motion. It's been waiting a long time. It has overwhelming approval throughout the system, and as you'll see from the stats that were provided to you, thank you for moving it through and getting us on to the next level. Appreciate it.
Okay. So is this Patty? And then I'm looking, I think it's Mark Masseri or something. Yes.
Good morning. My name is Patty Berman. I am the president of the Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council.
Good to see you again.
It's nice to see you too. Jose, hello. Gentlemen, ladies, I'm not here for or against item 7. I'm here with kind of a concern about the whole situation. Our neighborhood councils rely very heavily on Empower LA, on the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, for so many things. They are stretched so thin right now, manpower, money, everything. My concern is that as you allow neighborhood councils to bifurcate and thereby creating more and more of them, that some consideration be given to the resources that are going to be necessary to handle the new neighborhood councils in conjunction with the old ones. There's an awful lot that we need from them, and without those resources, it's going to be impossible to watch this growth and to be able to maintain decent neighborhood councils. I know some of the neighborhood councils struggle, and there are just not enough resources there. They're stretched absolutely to the limit. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Item 7 is a good idea, but the plan before you is going to be poorly executed. You need to really think about this plan, and here's why. What it does is attempt to place a black and white template over a very gray area. Right now, Los Feliz is in opposition to this, but it's changed since we filed that opposition. Should neighborhood councils be allowed to break away? Yes, they should. But what's wrong with this plan is that it's a checkbox plan. You meet these checkboxes, and we're going to election. I guarantee you, with social resources like Nextdoor and others, those are all going to pass. So let's take a look at the numbers of some of the neighborhood councils. There are 5 Hollywood neighborhood councils, all of which have about 20,000, which is the borderline number. There are 4 Northridge neighborhood councils, which all equal about 20,000. There's 3 North Hollywood neighborhood councils, which more or less equal about 20,000, give or take. But Sylmar is 80,000. What's going to keep Sylmar from saying, hey, why don't we split into 4?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, to the clerk, city attorney, that concludes public comment. It is now closed. Madam Clerk, what I hope to do is go through items 2 through 6, and if you would read those items.
And item 2 is a motion to support 9 members to the Innovation and Performance Commission. Items 3 through 6 are CLA reports and resolutions. 3 is to support an updated definition of aircraft to include unmanned aircraft systems. 4 is to support the seizure and impoundment of motor vehicles related to violations of the Penal Code on prostitution. Item 5 is to oppose H.R. 2898, which would override and weaken environmental protections for the Delta. And 6 is to oppose H.R. 1599, which would ban the labeling requirements for GMOs.
Okay, so members, on item 2, any questions or concerns? Okay, so without any on item 2, we will adopt that motion. Item 3, any questions? Item 3 will adopt the CLA report and resolution. Item 4, we will adopt the CLA report and resolution. And item 5, we will adopt the CLA report and resolution. And on item 6, we will adopt the CLA report and resolution. So without objection, those items will be deemed approved. That should bring us to items 1 and 7. And I'd like to call Melinda Murray up. We're going to go to item 1 at this point in time. And Heather, Ms. Holt, why don't you just come and sit at the table so that everybody knows that you came to work today. So I want them to see you.
And item 1 is a communication from the Council President relative to the appointment of Ms. Melinda Murray to the City Ethics Commission.
Okay, members, I want to just quickly say that the Ethics Commission is a very, we all know, very important commission. It has a very, very important job. And I think that we should be very careful in the individuals that we appoint to this commission. I think what we have in Ms. Murray, in my opinion, is a real kind of unique person. Not only do we have a person that is highly respected because of her work as a district attorney, we also have an individual who grew up in politics, who understands exactly what it takes to get elected, and she understands people raising money, and so I just believe that she brings such a unique perspective to this commission that I wholeheartedly recommend that we unanimously support Ms. Murray. And with that said, Ms. Murray, if maybe you could give us a couple of minutes about you and why you think you could do this.
Thank you, President Wesson. My name is Melinda Murray. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I'm Deputy District Attorney for LA County for over 20 years. My specialty is prosecuting sex crimes and domestic violence and elder abuse, but I also have experience prosecuting fraud cases. That being said, I'm also very active in the community, and I've worked with President Wesson when he was in the Assembly, and we've worked to better our community, make it safer, and I'm very honored to be nominated by President Wesson to serve in this capacity. I'm a lifelong resident of Los Angeles, and I'm thrilled to represent the city and make sure that our election system is transparent. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to address the council.
Thank you so much. And another thing, her father and her brother made history. They were both assembly members, and for one term, I think they served at the same time. So there was a dad and a son actually on the assembly floor at the same time. So, Mr. You're good? Mr. Huizar.
Great selection, Mr. President, and great law school, too.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so then without objection, we'll recommend Ms. Murray to the full council, which will be heard at 10 o'clock this morning. So that is approved.
Thank you.
All right. Next, Mr. Huizar, I'm going to defer to you and let you kind of structure item 7 the way you would like. We've already taken public comment on that item.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I'll be brief, but just let me say that I'm happy that this item has come before us. This has been a long time coming. It was presented 3 years ago, and quite honestly, I think it needed some refinement, some thinking, and a lot of work by Dunn. So I want to thank Dunn for the work they did to refine this policy. And there is instances where it makes sense to have some local neighborhood councils, if they meet certain criteria, to be able to become their own council areas because of either the area that the current neighborhood council is too large, their local interests are not being met. When this first came to my attention, it was on the Herman neighborhood that distinctly it's a different neighborhood. It also has say different interests in terms of how it would like to move forward. So we thought it'd be worthwhile to look into. After extensive views by the Dunn, they've come up with some procedures that I think will not should not concern us about too many neighborhood councils wanting to break away from their existing neighborhood councils. It would happen only once every couple of years to review this, and there will be only a certain number of neighborhood councils that applications for a breakoff where it would be accepted. So I think the new procedures help us make this a more methodical, thoughtful approach about how we move forward. I understand we would like to bifurcate this as well. The good news is that it finally is here. The bad news is that we have to look at some, see how we could help Dunn meet its financial and staffing obligations should this pass. So, Council, Mr. President, I would like to ask that we support the policy that Dunn has come up with, but that we also send the staffing suggestions over to the Budget and Finance Committee, and that they review those and see what we could do to assist the Dunn staff up for this new policy.
I think that's fine. And we can take that as a verbal amendment. So any other questions? Then without objection, we'll adopt the recommendations of the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners, including the amendment to request the city attorney to prepare a draft ordinance based on these recommendations, and note and file. The Dunn report will also include Mr. Weezar's amendment as well.
Yeah, Mr. President, if I could be more specific, and that is to instruct the CAO to include in the city budget for the next fiscal year proposed funding for the 3 positions that need to implement the new policy. And with that, I understand it would have to go through the regular budget cycle and Budget and Finance. So.
Okay. So then, without objection, we will approve this item. Madam Clerk, is there any additional business before this committee?
That includes all the businesses.
Then this committee is adjourned. We'll begin council in about 10 minutes or so.